Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another day in the life video. My last set of them, actually, because it is our final semester of DPT school, which is incredible. I am so excited for it because it's just going to be filled with clinical experience number 3 and knocking out the National Physical Therapy exam. So there is so much to do this semester. For those of you who don't know, if you haven't kept track of my other YouTube videos, I am going into the inpatient rehab neurologic pediatric setting for my last clinical. So I am so excited because it will be an incredible learning opportunity with such a specialized population. And literally all of the things are new to me. I haven't been in an inpatient rehab setting. I haven't worked with the pediatric population, and I haven't worked with the neuro population. So there is so much for me to learn this semester. It will be a great kind of daily review for the NPTE and kind of preparations for that. But I am so excited to start today just because I know that I'll be able to hop back into clinic and have that impact on patients, which I know is why I came into physical therapy. So I am so excited for that, and I'm excited to show you guys as much as I possibly can regarding it. But right now it's about 6:27 in the morning. I have a little over a half hour before I'm planning to head over in the morning since I start at about 7:30. I just want to give myself some extra time during this first day to make sure that I had the timing right, but it should only take me probably 10 to 15 minutes, so I'm not too worried about it. But this will be a great semester because I have never been in this setting and population before, and it will just be a great opportunity for growth. I know that this first week, because it's such a specialized population, is going to be a lot of observation, but I'm excited to kind of dive into it and show you as much as I can. And that's day one already complete. I had a lot of fun today overall, even though it was a decent bit of observation and a relatively slow day, at least from what my clinical instructor had told me. But it was just super great because at least one of the patients that we got to see actually twice today was a 2-year-old child that was so sweet and so engaged, and they had a traumatic brain injury, so they were a bit ataxic in their gait pattern and everything like that. And it was just really cool to see the truly like pediatric approach to letting a child play and kind of manipulating the environment to try and work on specific things, like helping them have a better, more reciprocal gait pattern, or positioning them while they're sitting so that they aren't going into W sitting, and encouraging more stable and more healthy patterns for being able to find that stability without kind of having those joints at risk when they're in that W sitting position. And this child in particular was super fun because we saw them at the beginning of our day and then the end of the day. And during the end of our second session, we actually ended it because they were starting to get really tired. So they just kind of slumped into the arms of my clinical instructor for a hug. And then we tried to keep them moving and got them to go over to me, and they gave me a hug, and we just kind of went back and forth. So it was just a super nice day overall, just having that be my entry into pediatrics and inpatient rehab as a whole. So I am actually, since that individual is going to be discharged tomorrow, I am going to be allowed to kind of work on engaging them, manipulating the environment, and that's kind of my task for tomorrow, is kind of taking that patient head on. So I am definitely going to take some time to do that after I get my MPT studying done. But before I get to all that, I am hungry after doing my clinicals and getting my run in after clinic. So I'm going to get myself some dinner, and then we'll see where the night takes us. We had a wonderful second day today. We started to pick up a little bit more in terms of we finally got to do 2 evaluations today, which was really interesting just getting to see how they approach it, how they're talking with families, especially because in our case with the population we're working with, some of them with their traumatic brain injuries or whatever it ends up being aren't super responsive to us as a whole, so a lot of it is interacting with the family there and just seeing what mobility that individual has even in their kind of comatose state. So it was a great learning experience today. I also got to discharge my first patient already and got to just interact more and more within the pediatric setting, so I am starting to feel a lot more comfortable. I have definitely made my medical conditions professor proud in the first 2 days with my line management and everything because my clinical instructor has definitely appreciated what I have been able to do in terms of that to make things simple for both me and her. So it has been great. Again, slowly easing into things, but I think because my clinical instructor so far has seen that I'm very willing to jump in whenever possible, I'm getting more and more responsibility by the day and interacting directly more with patients. So I'm excited to see where this continues to go. And tomorrow and Thursday, I'm switching over to my other clinical instructor, so it'll be nice to finally get to meet them and kind of see the difference in approach, if there is any, and just get to see what type of relationship we'll get to have. So I am super excited to keep going through the week, but outside of that, I do remember that yesterday we did end up actually having our graduation confirmed, and as a result, we were able to sign up for the NPTE exam. So that was a bit stressful, but we got it done, and I have my test date down. I'll be going for October 30th, so everything is set in stone. I put in the $600 for that exam, but hopefully this will be the only time that I have to take it, and that's the plan. I'm going to do a bit more studying on the NPTE tonight because this weekend is going to be the first time that I am doing a practice exam, so that will be interesting to see how much I've changed since my last PED exam. But outside of that tonight, I'm dropping off my old clothes from work, and then I am just going to kind of relax for the rest of the night because I don't really have too much to prepare for tomorrow, so it should be an easy night for me overall. Good morning, everyone. So, for a little update from yesterday, since I didn't have much time last night, since we went off to Casa Bonita for some fun after my clinical, basically yesterday we had another relatively full patient day. A few of our patients were in the OR for a decent bit of the day, so we didn't have as many, but we still went and did an evaluation. We did a couple of return visits, just checking on patients. So, hopefully today we'll get to see those patients that we didn't see yesterday. But at the end of the day, I did attend a tracheostomy training, which was exciting because at the end I got to actually try and do it on an infant, and they were a really great sport, and it was very interesting to actually see in person the kind of on-off button that you get changing the tracheostomy tube and the type overall, just because, they go from being able to speak to not being able to speak, and then as you change the valve back, you're able to hear them speak again. So it was really interesting to get to actually try it on a real infant because, they're squirming around. You have to adjust how you're doing your approach and everything. So it was a good experience overall. But this morning I am heading over a little bit later than usual just because I don't have any responsibilities until about 8 o'clock when we're doing a vestibular training. So I am going to join the team on that just because my clinical instructor thought that would be interesting, and they have a few things that they need to get done this morning, so it just kind of worked out that way. So I'm excited to learn a bit more about that since I haven't had a whole lot of that, at least in terms of a clinical experience so far, and just push myself to continue to be a better clinician. That week went by so incredibly quickly, and it was so fun. I am so happy with how this first week went, even though it did go by pretty fast considering I have those 4 10-hour shifts. So my Friday is my day off. But just to kind of catch up on what happened yesterday, essentially, we went into clinic. It was a pretty regular day overall, but we did still have a decent amount of our individuals still within the operating room or have other reasons why they weren't able to see physical therapy. But there was one that I was able to interact with yesterday that really stuck out to me, and that was this one individual who I've seen since admission. They were a traumatic brain injury, and they started out being in very low levels of the Rancho Los Amigos scale, which, for those of you who don't know, that's essentially a scale that tells you their progression of consciousness after a traumatic brain injury, where they start out in this lower area where they're either comatose or they're just generally responding to a stimulus, not actually doing it purposefully or to a specific location. They're just kind of doing a lot. They're starting to get agitated, things like that, and they start to move into being able to respond to more specific stimuli, be a bit more responsive in general to verbal commands and things like that. And this individual was starting kind of in that generalized stage when I first saw them. And we actually, on Wednesday, got them to sit at the edge of the bed, and they started to wake up a bit more. They were opening their eyes, and we were able to get a bit more specific responses. But the incredible thing was today, we got them to actually stand up and transfer themselves over to a recliner in the room. They were able to give their family members who are there hugs, and it was just incredible to kind of see the progress from that very just random responses to starting to be able to do some of those more purposeful movements, although still kind of inconsistent. It was just incredible to see the response from the patient, seeing them gain a bit of motivation, as well as the family members who are there. Really just seeing that emotion was incredible, and something that I'm hoping to have more and more of as I go through this experience. So that was just really encouraging to see, and I am incredibly excited to continue on with this experience, which, if you guys want to see more of it, make sure to look out for those videos coming up. I'm going to be on this clinical for the next 15 weeks, so there will be lots of stuff coming out with it on top of me studying for the NPTE, which wasn't really put into this video because I'm going to try making my day in the life video and my NPTE studying video separate so that you guys can kind of pick and choose what you would like or watch both. But that will probably be coming out midweek, is going to be my guess on the schedule, but we'll just kind of see how things go as I progress through the experience, but that's at least my plan. But if you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed getting to go to my first week of clinic, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below. Make sure to check out my other videos, my other clinicals, whatever you want to see on my channel. I have a lot of other things throughout my experience in PT school that you can check out, as well as you can look in the description for a 20% off code for Picmonic in case you want to check them out for just PT school studying in general, or if you yourself are preparing for the NPTE, you can also try out their 5-day free trial just to see if they are right for you. But thank you all so much for watching. This has been KBDPT, and I'll see you all in the next video.